Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, the Evil Dungeon Master channel here on YouTube. Hopefully you're doing well out there. I know I am doing well out here, or in here, I should say. Thank you for joining for another video on here on this channel. This week I'm going to talk a little bit about a game that I've played a couple times here on this channel as a solo, or I should say a co-op. It is actually a lot of fun. It's probably my go-to game when it comes to zombie apocalypse or zombie games, and that is All Flesh Must Be Eaten. So, All Flesh Must Be Eaten is a complete zombie role-playing game that uses the cinematic system by by Eden Studios. Unisystem by Eden. Yeah, you create an ordinary or hardened survivor that faces the escalating threats and decides how far you will go to live through the whole scenario. It supports one-shot and long campaigns. I did a co-op game here on the channel with Jeff and myself. We did like 9 or 10 episodes of that, and I think I moved it over to my solo quest channel, Party of One, which is usually at the top of the page. When you go to my front page, you can take a look at it there and then join up. But let's take a look here quick at this book, and I want to do a couple videos on this and talk a little bit about this. Now, the book walks you through character creation, from the core rules to the gear, the vehicles, building your own zombies and stuff like that, and then kind of gives you some ready-made worlds inside the book. Now, you can decide what type of viruses and things like that when it comes to the game. But the game is basically a simple 1d10 system that controls everything, and you only use d4, d6, d8, whatever, 10 for only damages when you're rolling damage. So it is a lot of fun to play this game. So let's take a look at the table of contents for this. And chapter 1 talks about the story of the dead rising and how things work in the world, stuff like that. Chapter 2 gets into how survivors can be built, and inside chapter 2 we have some archetypes or archetypes of characters that you can use for quick play and defining characters. So we'll just take a look at that real quick here when we get to page 68, and we will talk all about them because they're actually a lot of fun, some of these. So as we can see here, we start with the first archetype here in the book, which is an athlete, and this gives us an idea of what the characters look like in this book. Now, with Unisystem, they have strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, perception, and willpower when it comes to the characters. We'll zoom in here. And we have life points and stuff like that in essence, which we'll get into when we talk about characters in a little more detail. Unisystem has a lot of things like qualities and drawbacks, which actually help your character define him, make him a little bit more different than the normal main character. Skills are handled pretty much. You build your character based on what you think your character would be. So brawling, climbing, the things you would see. And I've expanded upon these skills just a little bit, just to add a little bit more. This book came out like early 2000, I believe it is. So you're going to want to update some of the skills in here to reflect more modern day society if you want. Not many, just some of them. And when it comes to rolling this, generally you're going to be rolling a d10, adding the attribute and the skill depending on the type of situation you're in. And we'll get into that later on when we talk a little bit more about how characters are done and everything. And you could use these characters, they're ready pretty much to play when it comes to it. And you get different characters like a biker and a cheerleader. Obviously, you get that whole Buffy thing in there if you want. A detective. He doesn't look like a detective, but he is a detective. We also got a goth chick, which you also have metaphysics in this game. So there is some type of somewhat of a magical system going on in this, and you don't have to use that when it comes to this game at all. You can completely ignore that and just play normal survivors dealing with the apocalypse of zombies all around the country. So when I first start playing this game, the first thing I try to think about is what type of group are we going to be playing? Where is this group going to be located? And then you're going to want to figure out what type of goals you want for the group to have. So generally, the first thing you want to do is you're going to start this on day 0. You're going to start this 6 months into the apocalypse, because you could start it either way. And I find the most fun when it comes to this game playing it from day zero, like having people go to work and slowly notice things as society breaks down. And from there, we kind of move forward with the game and watch society collapse. And I think that's a lot of fun doing it that way. Now, you don't have to do that way if you don't like it. You just make it 6 months into the whole apocalypse. And I think the mood gets just for this type of game or any zombie apocalypse games gets captured a little bit better when you start from day zero because the threat becomes a little bit more realistic for characters. They're more involved in the campaign when it comes to doing it from day zero because they have more about their character. Their character's living through things as opposed to, well, my character's been here for 6 months. Okay, all right, cool. And I think the situation is a little bit different, and you have more invested when you start from day zero in this campaign. Obviously, we have our different things you can be. You can obviously make your own custom character. You don't have to use these things at all. And the book talks about it in detail. They talk about different type of zombies that you can use in your game. When it comes to building zombies, they have a whole different chart system in here about how to build your own type of zombie for your apocalyptic game. It doesn't have to be, just slow shambling zombies. They could be like runners, or they could be talkers, or like a variant like that. There could be an intelligent or a smart zombie, things like that. In season, I think it was 11 of The Walking Dead, they introduced some variant zombies. In season 10, they had the people that walked among the zombies to try to control the zombies. You can do things like that with this game and have a lot of fun with it. Now, this is just a basic overview of this game because I've never actually done a video overview of this game whatsoever. And it's a lot of fun. This is probably my go-to zombie game when it comes to zombie apocalypse types games. It's very easy to play with a 1d10 as your base, and you have a certain amount of levels to hit. Um, Kind of like if you've ever played like a d20 game, you have a certain target number to hit for certain things. They have easy ranges, medium ranges, and high ranges for more complex actions. So this game is a lot of fun. I highly suggest you pick it up. You still can pick it up at Drive Thru RPG for a reasonable price. Eden Studios has them still up for sale, and generally they do go on sale. I think around Halloween time, you could probably find a deal on these things. It does have rules for conversion. The revised one, which I have right here, my revised edition right here, is the one I have the PDF for, actually has conversion rules for D20 Modern. At the time, D20 Modern was very popular. Well, I shouldn't say very popular. What was the newest thing out during the D20 boom? So Eden Studios decided to jump on that train and add some rules to their revised book. It's no different than this book is no different than the original one. Maybe some clarifications in here for rules, little extra fluff, and the D20 Modern uh, conversion rules towards the back so you can jump into D20 Modern if you're still interested in playing that. It's a solid book, solid game. We're going to get more into talking a little bit about how the survivors are normal, average survivors, which I love when it comes to zombie apocalypse. I like the average survivor trying to deal with the situation and the other people that are involved with the zombie apocalypse, because we all know when it comes to the world breaking down slowly, that society will unleash itself. The perfect example that I can think of offhand is Black Summer when it was on Netflix. The first season, maybe into the second season before it got canceled, but it was actually a good representation of what happens to society when the laws are no longer enforced or people don't think they're going to get caught. The Walking Dead did go over this as well, but not in great detail like I think Black Summer did. People, as soon as society breaks down, the bad of the bad will start becoming known. they will start, just realizing this is a perfect opportunity to do this, this, or this. And there's too much of a distraction with zombies around, and the law is busy. So, you're dealing not only with zombies, you're dealing with asshole people as well. So that's what most zombie apocalypses are more focused on, is people dealing with the situation, but also dealing with other people. Zombies, yeah, they're a constant threat when it comes to playing these games. There's the book. Playing these games, but they're more backgroundish. There are things that people have to get around. People have to uh, deal with as a side thing. Sure, hordes are a big thing. Zombies are not an easy little threat. They are a major threat, but people are mostly the threat. There's cults that form. There are these people that worship zombies. And this game has some type of little bit of magic in it, so there's a little bit of that. You don't have to use it, obviously, but it is probably my go-to game when it comes to zombie apocalypse. I do love the Unisystem when it comes to how easy and simple the D10 system is, and I want to do some videos just to show my love of that game. Another game I love by them is Conspiracy X. Awesome X-Files type game, but this game is all about all my flesh must be eaten. Just a kind of an introductory overview of the video, of the book, as I want to get into more detail about it. I've done a bunch of videos on the cinematic Unisystem, which is Angel, Buffy, Army of Darkness, and that's a lot of fun to play those too. And it's a little bit more quicker when it comes to the rules. This is a little more of the crunchier side, classic Unisystem, but it's still a lot of fun to play. And I know I have a bunch of people here on the channel that are members that love Unisystem, so they'll be super happy to see a video on Unisystem. But I just wanted to start the series of videos on that. Yeah. So let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to check out my website, theevildm.com. If you have any questions for me, ask the DM at theevildm.com. Hit up patreon.com/eviltm if you want to support me. I've been putting up pages of my DM journal on there for people of the Patreon members so they can get to see it and see how my thought process goes. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I'm going to head out. Keep it original, keep it old school. Good night, and God bless everybody.